Rockstar. Hey. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. 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 Hey, Rockstar! Welcome! This is a storytelling platform designed to empower you to build yourself up physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially. Why stories? Because stories live on. They are eternal. They are a powerful reminder of what one can accomplish when opportunity presents itself. So listen carefully, learn the lessons, apply them to the Big Five, and become the rock star of your industry. It's Thursday. Welcome back to the best show on this planet. A show made for you, made for me. My name's Josafat Emiliano, and this is Hey Rockstar. It is a storytelling platform packed with value that you can take and you can and inspire you to grow physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially, so that you then can go and become the rock star of your industry. Welcome back. Thank you for checking out the new time change. We're going to start doing our shows a little later simply because my day today is a little bit more jam-packed. And lately I've been cutting it right on time. So 5:55 Central is the time we chose to continue on still on Thursdays though, because we found a good thing and we're glad that you're here to join us. I don't want to waste too much more time. It's just me today, no special guests, but I have guests lined up for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks, almost a month out. A lot of good value, a lot of good things. I've been having more fun. I've just been having fun building this show for you and for you and for you, because you are my favorite, because you keep coming back. You are hungry for change. You are hungry to become better. You are hungry to become a rock star. So let's not take any much more time. Let's go straight to today. Episode 28. Goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. Get this little gun ready, Shoot that Mr. Nice Guy. Just kidding. How's everyone doing? I'm going to turn on the chat, so if you guys want to feel chatty, I'll be able to read. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it on there. I moved the screen around this way, so now I can basically watch you guys from here, make my point here, and mucho thanks to I don't even know what it used to be called, the old radio station my dad used to work at, but he had this mic and he just had it there in storage, and like, hey Pops, what are you doing with that thing? And he goes, do you think you can use it? Like, I can try to use it. And I'm just so grateful. So we're just getting better and better with the quality that we have for you guys today. All right, so I just heard a silence, so the AC went off, which is good news for us, right? Let me pull up my notes for today. So as many of you already know, I have a keynote speaking business where well, as a keynote, I help midlife professionals change when life hands them a curveball or life plans just stop working. And one of the things that I'm trying to build on is not just have one talk, but several talks. And when my coaches that I'm working with ask me, so what other areas could you kind of experience or give expertise to? And like, you know what? I think it'd be fun to talk a little bit about the Mr. Nice Guy syndrome. And they're like, ooh, that sounds good. And because I do have a little bit, and a lot of people have had this happen to them. So I'm not the only one. But the secret is I learned how to get out of this. Let me pull up my notes for today's show, because I could just ramble on and on and on. But goodbye, Mr. And also, I realize gentlemen aren't the only ones who suffer with this. So when I'm working on my talk for this, it's more like goodbye, Mr. or Miss Nice Guy. I kept the word guy because guy today is more like a general pronoun for like the whole group. It refers to both sexes. And so I guess I wanted to start off with this question. Have you ever hung out with someone you thought was cute? Y'all go and grab lunch or maybe grab some froyo afterwards. You'll have a great time. And at the end of the day, when you're just approaching your favorite person, they look at you and they give you a side hug and say something like, "You're such a nice person. Someday you're going to find someone who is so lucky to have you."
A lot of people just cringe that moment, like, every single time, bro. Every single time it happens to me. Now that's the more familiar area, and I do have stories about back in college or junior college at least. When actually no, in junior college, I was actually successful in dating girls. It wasn't until I went to Southwestern, I went to a Bible college. That's where things got weird, or not weird. It's just I just became the nice guy, and which is okay, I guess, for that point. Oh, I have a note. Basically, when they say, whenever they say something like, "Someday you're gonna find someone who is lucky to have you," that's code for, nah, bro. You and me ain't never gonna happen. But don't stop giving me the free perks, though. Yeah, I'll just let that sit in there a little bit. Don't stop giving me the free perks. I'm not gonna acknowledge you in anything romantic, but I still like the attention you're giving me. I still like the free time you're spending with me. All right, so I just let that one sit on someone. Can we just be friends? Yes. Oh my goodness. I have a great meme that I created for a challenge, a photo challenge. And basically the meme, I can't show you the meme because I don't have permission to use the photography or the photo. But basically the meme is like, if what was it? If I love you too, but only as a brother in Christ, were a meme. Maybe one day if you guys meet me in person, I can show you on my phone what meme I'm referring to. But referring to nice guys, not just in romantic relationships. There's also in just non-platonic or in platonic relationships and friendships. And sometimes being the nice guy, you tend to feel, and again, I'm gonna try to get into, there's so much to the psychology of this, and apparently now there's more books that have been written on this topic. I, for one, wanted to write a book based on the psychology, or at least the philosophy that I came up with my idea of nice guy. For some reason, my neighbor decided to right now at 5:50. Oh, and at 6:07 is the best time to mow their lawn. So that's what you're hearing out there. I'm hoping the eclipse curtains will help to absorb the sound. But anyway, it is what it is, y'all. Just bear with me. But what I wanted to say is sometimes the person who gets deemed as the nice guy, there's so much more to the psychology, but I just want to touch on what I am familiar with. Let me remove this little comment real quick. Thank you. Small town Texas BBQ. But let me stick with my notes because we're going somewhere with this today. So sometimes being called nice. Oh, okay. Let me just. It's the best way I can go through this is just sharing a quick little story. Again, back to university times. I know. I think my heavenly Father, and I thank my father, El Reverendo Emiliano. But this was the mic that he used to use whenever he did his little radio bit through y'all's radio station, and it was just there collecting dust. I'm gonna put it to some good use. And the sound quality. And I got myself a new little mixer. Remember I was telling you guys how I've been waiting for some new equipment to come in, and so that I could connect this sucker, and also got this little dynamite amplifier. It's just, I feel more pro with this setup. Probably the next thing would be a different camera, but so far my little GoPro is getting the job done, and it's still good quality. I gotta share these comments. My answer was, if we can't be lovers, then we can't be friends. Learn from that old song. It's true. Now, all right, you know what? I'm going off the book for a little bit. A lot of the reasons why nice, or a lot of nice people, or people who adopt the nice mentality, continue on in their silent suffering, or continue on in putting up with people just kind of walking all over them, is because unfortunately they have a limited mindset, especially when it comes to relationships, and they're so scared. If I step up, if I speak out, then maybe that we won't be friends anymore, and I don't want to lose that friendship. That's the only thing I have, and this I'd rather just be friends than to lose this person. And that comes from a limited mindset. If you come from an abundance mindset, now again, I'm not saying just disrespect people and throw them away, but when it comes to a mindset that, you know what, there's more than one person in this world. There's more than just two people in this world. There is a lot of people who can add value to me. And if this person doesn't see me more than what I want to be seen, it's okay. It's their prerogative, but I don't need to invest my time in that. I can continue to seek someone better, or not better, but someone who does want to invest that time in me. And so that comes from an abundance mindset. That comes from but we'll get there. We'll get there, how someone can get to that abundance mindset. Right now, it's more of a, let's just figure out what I'm trying to define by why people act nice, why people tend to just let other people take advantage of them. And I think a lot has to do with society. Society today basically says just be yourself, but they don't explain what yourself is, because ourselves is not perfect. Ourselves is not refined or defined. It's messy, it's gross, it's disturbing, it's something in the making. But we see social media, and of course I'm not gonna blame social media for all this stuff, but we see what everyone's putting out is like their best foot. So we assume, well, I need to put my best foot forward. And that stirs insecurities, that stirs limitations, that makes us think we're not ever gonna be enough. So instead, let's just start trying to please everyone else. Let's do what they want, not what I do, because maybe what I want is silly. Maybe what I want is dumb. Going back to my notes, because I will go. Let's go back to the, we're constantly searching for acceptance. And the deal is we're constantly searching for acceptance in others, through others. And where I'm going to end this, you need to find acceptance first with you. And of course, if we're going to take it to the faith level, we know that we already accepted here. Oh man, okay, I'm not gonna go there. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother message. That's a whole nother ofrenda that I'm gonna pass around. But for this, we're gonna talk about being nice. Why is being called nice such an ultimate put down? Why do we hate it when we're like, oh, you're such a nice person? Like, oh, I don't want to be nice. I don't want to. I saw someone posted a video. I'm not even sure it's relevant, but I'm gonna go and share it. But it was a funny little video where I guess some girls, like, I am 24 or something like that. She goes, but people think that I am cute and young. I look young. I always look young. But she goes, but I'm not. I don't want to be cute. I want to be seen as hot. I want to be seen as sexy. For some reason, they don't want to be seen as innocent or young or nice. They want to be seen as something a little bit more risque or something. And again, all of us, even me, whenever I first heard girls around my Bible college calling me, oh, you're a nice guy, you're a nice guy, I'm like, what did I do to offend you? Why are you calling me nice? I don't want to be nice. I want to be the bad boy, because the bad boy gets all the, whatever. But bad boys. I love this effects that this thing has. Anyway, but don't get me wrong, I don't want to be a jerk. And that was another thing. Like, well, if you're just too nice, then let's just go to the opposite. I remember going to a friend of mine who was really good in relationships. And by that, I just mean he had a lot of relationships. I can't really say he was really good in relationships, but he just knew how to date and such. And I was asking for advice. Like, look, man, I what am I doing wrong? What I got to do? He goes, oh, man, you got to play the bad boy. You got to do this. You got to be rude. You got to throw jokes. You got to be cocky. You got to be all this stuff. And I'm like, it felt very unnatural for me, but I tried it. I really did. I tried to be an arrogant. I tried to put a lot of emphasis in me and kind of, I think the term is negging, where you kind of like throw jabs at someone intentionally. And I remember those times where I flat out was rude to certain people because like, I felt that's the only way I could get hurt. Like, or I was like, no, it's all about me. I'm the important one here. I'm the alpha male here, kind of situation. And the sad thing is, it actually worked. It actually worked with certain people, not all of them, but certain ones. But I couldn't help but feel that I wasn't being true to myself, because that wasn't my natural state of being. I was a good person. I didn't want to be a jerk. I didn't want to be. And I was eventually called out by someone who I liked, and she's like, someone who knew me for a long time. She goes, why are you acting so different? You are not attractive right now. And I'm like, oh, that hurt me. And so that led me on a path of trying to figure out what the heck I want to be. I want to try to figure out how I can still be a good guy and not be seen as a soft pushover or seen as someone who is easily taken advantage of, or someone who's not worthy to have a romantic relationship with, because a lot of that did mess with me. And maybe it was a lot of my upbringing and limited beliefs, but a lot of that just led me to a path. And I remember I went through a season where I was addicted to self-help books. I was reading anything and everything, and I was reading like my personality type and learning my Enneagram. Well, Enneagram didn't come to like the 2000s. So back then it was more like the DISC method and I forgot the name of all the other ones. But the 23 personalities, or 26, I forgot how many there were. And then also there was a Christian book called about temperaments, and you sanguine, melancholic, and I don't know. It was just. And I was infatuated, or not infatuated. I was just fascinated with the psychology and more or less why my mind worked the way it worked. And so I just started reading and researching and learning and developing and figuring out why I act this way. And then when the 5 love languages hit, ooh, that was fire. That's when I realized, oh, this person is telling me they love me without telling me they love me, because this is the way they behave. And but not only that, but I can be multilingual in all languages. And I can speak love in 5 different ways, kind of situation, and even today now, I'm not getting into trouble and I'm not going into the 5 love languages, but nowadays I kind of feel that's kind of a crutch. We become too dependent on these descriptions of ourselves, and we think that that's the norm. That's what we need to follow. And maybe that's not what we're going to. But little by little, as I venture out my adventures and grew and learned and just self-developed and just matured, when I finally came here, I had a different mindset. I like to call it the inner game in me had really matured, had really become something of value. And so I remember this particular incident where a new girl, I don't even know how we met at church, but she was just visiting. And so whenever I meet someone new, because I know I'm such a busy person, my first questions is ask them what their interests are, what do they like to do, what are they involved in. And normally whatever answers they give me, I can think of at least 3 to 5 other people in our church who kind of are in the same mindset, and I immediately introduce them to each other. And it's not just girls, girls or guys. Whenever I meet someone new and they start talking to me, because I do know that I have a gift of attracting people. I call it the magnetic gift. I could show up to an empty restaurant and think I'm going to be here for a while, and before I leave, that place is full. It's just something about God. I don't know. Just people are drawn to wherever I'm at. I even say when I'm driving. Sometimes I find a nice road and I'm driving. Before you know, and if I just am cruising there and lost in my thought, before you know it, all these cars come from nowhere. Like, how did I find myself in this mess? Anyway, it's a little joke, but. And there's nothing bad. It's nothing bad that I'm drawing people, but I also know that my limitations, and I've set my healthy boundaries. I can't be there for everyone. So immediately I try to connect them with other people that mix with them, blend with them, so that they have more than just one friend. And it's a healthy balance for them. That's just the way I roll. They call me the conduit because I connect people. So anyway, I connected her with several people. She built community, she built rapport, and she loved her time here in Nashville. She was doing amazing things. Every now and then I would meet up with them and go out for like bowling or something. It's just, whatever. And I remember she had a friend come visit her from out of town, and she brought her to church. And as soon as she saw me, like, Josafat, I gotta introduce you to someone. And she brought me her friend, and like, this is Josa. He is such a nice guy. And remember, nice guy's a bad word for me. But I didn't like go, oh no, you got the wrong person. I rebuked that. No. I just kind of smiled and looked at her. And I'm like, no, I'm not a nice guy. And she was kind of like taken aback, like, wait, what do you mean? She goes, no, yeah, you are. Like, no, no, I am not a nice guy. And I'll tell you why, because I used to be a nice guy. And honestly, when I was a nice guy, I wasn't a very good guy, because as a nice guy, I was very manipulative. I was always constantly doing things out of my normal self in hopes that some people would find that attractive or would like me and treat me the same. And if you didn't reply in like, I was offended, I was mad, I was angry, I was bitter. And this girl's like, this is not you. Like, exactly, I'm not a nice guy. And so she just kind of like didn't give up. She's like, well, then what are you? And I didn't really know the term at the time. So like, I guess I'm a kind guy or I'm a good guy. And she rolled her eyes and she goes, well, what's the difference? And that's when I first defined it in my head. Honestly, as a good guy or kind guy, it has nothing to do with reaction. However you treat me does not influence the way I respond. I respond in kind, or I respond goodness because I'm good inside, because I've taken care of me. I have built myself up. My inner game is strong so that I can, no matter how you treat me, I will treat you the same because I have value. And my nature now is to give value. And that's where my life changed. When I realized being the nice guy it was a situational, or it was very reaction based. It was dependent on pleasing others because I was constantly pleasing others. And I shared with this a few videos ago. One thing that messed me up in a good way was when I read in Galatians when Paul said, I can't be a people pleaser and serve God. Because if I'm a people pleaser, I am worthless to serve God. And I had to take that and run with it and realize, all right, then I don't want to be a people pleaser, because that's where I was for the longest time. That's where I thought I needed to be. And that's where a lot of my insecurities came from, a lot of my trials, a lot of my insufficiencies, because no matter what, I can't please everyone. And so I needed to take care of numero uno, me first, and make sure I was healthy. All right. So I needed to work on my inner game. I even thought about writing a book. And I was going to call it So Long, Mr. Nice Guy. And I kind of had the idea, like the first chapter, I was going to explain my philosophy, the difference between nice guy versus the good guy, nice guy versus the kind guy. And I was going to break that down, just the mindset differences. And then the rest of the book was going to be different chapters devoted to different areas in which you could add value to your life. And I remember, I'm trying to think of just different things, like simple stuff like reading. That's funny. You read a book to learn how to read about books, because readers are leaders, or leaders are readers. But that's one thing that has helped add value into my life, becoming a lover of knowledge, of growth, of educating myself. Another thing, this was something I learned from a lady in the airplane. We were traveling. I was sharing her story about nice guy versus good guy. And she goes, well, here's something that maybe you can start putting into practice with your value adding. And she's like, I have given myself a lot of time to mourn. Whenever anything happens, I set a time for how long that I can mourn and bicker and complain about the situation. Now, some things are greater. Some things take days, some things take weeks, maybe even a year. But she goes, some things take maybe a few hours. I stubbed my toe. Okay, for this next few seconds, I can say, But she goes, but once the time goes, I set a timer and I give myself permission to be mad, to mourn. But once the timer's over, that's it. I never revisit this again. And I'm like, that was powerful. That was like mental strength there, to be able to give yourself permission to be, because I get it. Our life is not always peaches and creams. It's not always happy. And if your life is entirely happy, I'm scared to hang around with you because you might be psycho. Just kidding. No, you're not. But no one can possibly be happy all the time. Even the good book says there's seasons, a time to laugh, a time to cry. time to sleep. Man, I need more time to sleep. A time to mourn. A time to rejoice. You know, there's a balance there. Oh, anyway. And so that stirred up in me a desire to add value. You know, I'm about that mindset where the best way to clean, let's just say muck fell into my cup here as I drink. Something falls in and it spreads out. I mean, I guess I could just dump it out and have to spend the time refilling it again, which is okay. But another great way, but then I'm left in a moment of emptiness. If this is my body, I don't want to be empty. So one of the best ways to start doing then is to turn on the faucet, put it under a running faucet, and let the water fill till it's overflowing. And then just continue to let it flow. And eventually it will purify itself. The contamination will float away and be gone. And before you know it, your cup is full of valuable, pure, drinkable water. That's how I started seeing my life. If I want the bad habits or the negative to leave me, then I need to start filling myself with valuable things. And I started researching what would add value to me. What can I do? What little practices will make me a better version of myself? Even if it's just a little bit, let's start working towards that. And that's how Hey Rockstar actually started on Instagram. I was doing Motivation Mondays where I would start with Hey Rockstar, and I would give a little bit, and I would start with Hey Rockstar, want to add value to your week this week? Then start, and I would give a little bit of advice. Put this into practice and you will add value to your life. And for 3 years, I was adding value, pouring in, but I was learning first so that I could share with you. I was doing things first so that I could share with you. And it just became a natural thing that it was just a part of me talking to people. I have like, well, I remember researching this. No, it would just come out from within, the fountain that was within me. It was just bursting out. I had changed, my inner game had become strong, had become solid, had become something that gives life. And so I had this idea to write a book. And then I found out that a lot of other books have been written. And actually, I found one that made way more sense. This guy actually had better psychology, and he had better activities that people could do to get out of that psychology, to get out of he called it the nice guy syndrome. And the name of the book, and I actually advise you, if you feel this urging at you, one book, I read it once. Right now I have a friend who borrowed it, and I downloaded the audio because I want to listen to it again, because I want more of this information. Now, and there's other topics on this, because there's more than just the inner game. There's other areas. You got to understand the psychology. You got to understand why people tend to fall back or default to being nice. But mostly it is to try to gain approval from others. But anyway, the name of the book, though, is No More, Mr. Nice Guy. And the author is Dr. Robert Glover. So just Amazon that sucker. That's what I did. All right. So, oh, man, time is flying by. And there is a lot of chatter today. 5 languages. There it is. I have a story about the 5 love languages. But anyway, let's go with... I'm just going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5 little tips, some bits of advice to help you overcome, let's go ahead and call it the nice guy syndrome. 5 inoculations for the nice guy syndrome. Sorry. All right. We're not going to go there. So the first thing is, the first bit of advice that I can give you is you need to start asking yourself the tough questions. Like, make a day of it. Maybe take a day off or a week off. You need to go on a little holiday retreat, go on a staycation and rent a hotel or something, or just be where no one's going to bug you, interrupt you. And one of the questions you can ask is, am I happy? And be honest with yourself. Am I truly happy, or am I just being happy because everyone else expects me to be happy? Does this current life fulfill me? And what I'm doing, is it really meaningful to me? I mean, I could be making an impact, but I mean, is it doing anything for me, kind of situation? And then you can also ask yourself, like, where do I want to be? Asking questions is an art. And you need to start being brave enough to dig into these areas. Find out more about you. And you could be honest with yourself. Yes, I am happy. I'm actually happy doing this. Or I am happy with just being in this small arena. This brings me fulfillment, just sitting here watching anime or something. I don't know. But anyway, again, I don't want to dig too much deep, but just the first step is start asking yourself tough questions. Start searching yourself. Start figuring it out if you truly are fulfilled, or are you just playing the game that everyone expects you to play, the way everyone expects you to play. Anyway, that's just my first suggestion. Start asking, and I do that every morning. I've shared this with you guys in my meditation time. I dig deep and I ask myself hard questions, and then I let the Holy Spirit guide me in a lot of things, and let Him search me too. Anyway, next thing I got for you guys, next little tidbit is after you ask the tough questions, second thing is create a new plan and make it tangible. By tangible, I mean, I'm a dreamer and I'm constantly coming up with great ideas and great plans and start thinking of other stuff. But until I put in writing, or even in my phone, or maybe a ways to make your plan or your dream tangible is like a dream board. Like go to the dollar store, get a cork board, or even take pictures with your phone. Like this little hack actually I got from a business person, entrepreneur that I can't remember his name right now. But basically, he talked about Pinterest. He goes, the cool thing about Pinterest, I always thought like, oh my goodness, Pinterest. The boys are really going to make fun of me for this. But he says, the cool thing about Pinterest is you have private boards. And you can start this private board, and he goes, and build, he focused on 4 pillars. He goes, put 4 private boards, and one would be health, one would be wealth, one would be relationship or whatever, and the other one would be happiness. And start looking for things that focus on your goals as a health, or focus on your goal in the wealth, or focus on your goal in relationship, or focus your goal in what makes you happy. And any things you start putting these little dream boards or little dream whatever pins, and in the way you have a dream board on Pinterest. He goes, that's a really cool thing to do. So I mean, you could do that, or a dream board, like a literal one, or just write it down in a journal. Like the morning formula that I learned with my sales was dynamite. It's something that I go through every morning to remind myself whenever I just don't feel like getting up and getting the work done. I go back and I read this like, this is why I'm sacrificing. This is why I'm disciplined. This is why I'm going to get up, do the hard, do the suck, do the discipline, do the unsexy, because I have read my affirmations. I have read my morning formula, and this is where I want to be. I know what it's like to be where I'm at right now. I am not happy. I ask myself the 2 questions. I want to be here. And so that there's basically whatever, let's make a plan, and after you make the plan, let's make it tangible. Let's write it down. Even if it's something simple, write it down, your next few steps. I've been coaching a few guys, and one guy, he was overwhelmed with just so much stuff that he had to do. And I had to slow him down. Like, all right, man. All right. First of all, let's take a deep breath. Right now, you're seeing the circumstance, and the reason your circumstance is overwhelming you is because you don't see the future. You think that tomorrow you're going to be stuck the same here. You think that from a few years from now, you're going to be stuck where you're at right now in the situation, in the suck. And if you don't have a plan, that will be true. What's the saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Kind of situation. Or you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Anyway, so I first of all he had to cool down. He had to just kind of pause and said, yes, right now you got to do what you got to do to survive. But let's make a plan. Let's make a plan that while you're surviving, let's start doing little advancements towards where you want to be. You see where you want to be. So let's make a plan. And in 6 months, let's revisit where you're at. Maybe in 6 months, you can drop off one of these part-time gigs that you feel like you don't have any extra time because you're doing so much, because this has already advanced enough. And maybe a little bit more, you can take another one off. And maybe you take a third one off. And before you know it, this plan, this dream of yours that you're building, this hustle is built that you're working is now strong because you've been faithful to it, adding to it, building it. And maybe eventually you can eventually go off. But you need to have a plan, a target, so that you won't be distracted by the circumstance that you find yourself in. Because this is temporary. This is where you want to be. The suck is temporary. This is where you want to be, but you need a plan. Anyway, I really harked a lot on that advice. Third little bit of tidbit I have for you guys is starting with the big five. Begin to add value to your life. Now, most of you know I'm working on 5 areas where I balance and try to invest in every day, a little bit every day, because I know that if I'm faithful to doing this a little bit of changes every day, I will become a different person by the end of the year. In 365 days already, guys. What is it? We're January, February, March, April, March. I don't even know. We're in April. Sorry. Judy's birthday was just all right. So we're only 4 months in, and I've come such a long way than when I started, or than when I ended last year, because I've been faithful to the big 5 in my area, physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and even financially. I mean, now I'm able to afford coaching to start building my business and other aspects. Guys, it's amazing. I'm not going to go into too much debt or into too much depth over that. I do have a video. I didn't say which one it was, and I'm not going to post like, yeah, look up here. But it's called the, I want to say something to the big 5. The, you know what? I'm just going to look it up because that's the kind of guy that I am. And I just closed my notes, didn't I? I was thinking about the song, but that's the Heavy J one that I did. Man, that was a good video too. Let's see now. Hey, Rockstar. Let's look at all my videos. It's only letting me go to the 17th. No, I need to see all the videos. Come on. There we go. So it is episode 14, the epic tale of the big 5. I break it down more. I break down the 5 points of area that I'm growing in. Now, you don't need to do that unless you want to be a rock star. But basically what it all is about, it's about creating good habits that will eventually overcome the bad habits, and also teach you to be disciplined. And you know how I've harped on that. Discipline is what's going to get you there. Don't seek the motivation, seek the discipline. Motivation will make you feel good for a moment, but the discipline, even when you don't feel like it, you will get results. And you know what? I'm telling you, like, I have a mirror in front of where I work out, and the mirror only kind of reflects from like mid pec to about right here and like my shoulders. And so I like to work out without my shirt because I'm a guy and I can do that. I live by myself. And so whenever I start working out and I feel the pump and I get it all, I kind of look up and you can see the definition. Like you can see where my neck is and my shoulders are starting to bulk out. I'm like, I start to see that, and that empowers me. That gives me confidence. Like, dude, I'm becoming a stronger person because I've been faithful on doing these little habits for health reasons. And I've created that discipline. And there's days, don't get me wrong, there's days when I wake up like, I don't want to. It's cold outside, or now it's hot out, or whatever. But I think back like, no, you need to do this. This is part of your discipline. This is part of your habits. And if you do this, Josa, you are going to feel so much better. And then you can eat whatever you want later on. But even then, after that, I make like smart choices, because there's days I have been bad. Like I took a few weeks where I consumed a little too much sugar. All right, I'm just going to tell you. I made horchata. I have this recipe I've been working on, and I think I've gotten really good. Anyway, my small group, we were supposed to meet last Friday, and I made 2 gallons of horchata. And I'm like on my way when I get the text message that due to illness, we canceled our meet that night. Like, And I made a random note to my text message to my family, like, "What? I got 2 gallons of horchata. What am I gonna do?" And like, drink it. And I'm like, I know I made this. I know how much sugar is in this. I'm scared to drink this all by myself. I drink a lot of it by myself, but that was all the sugar I had. I try not to consume any more sugar besides that. Anyway, now it's just pure water. This horchata. No, it's just water. I'm not sure if you can see. I don't want to spill it on my little console here. Horchata. Next little tidbit that I have for you guys. And this is very important, because once you start adding value to yourself, once you start changing your mindset and putting yourself first, and you're not as easily available to people because you're busy on doing the work, certain people are going to start challenging you. They're going to start trying to steal your motivation, or steal your momentum. Not so much motivation, your momentum. And they're going to start trying to come back and control you again. Oh, I miss that time we used to hang out, all this and that. And oh, let's go do froyo again, because you're such a nice guy. That's what you know. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go hang out with me. You're supposed to spend time with me, spend money on me, because you're a nice guy. You're supposed to help me move because you're a nice guy. You're supposed to be there and let me cry and talk about all my problems because you're a nice guy. Okay, sorry. I'm probably stepping on a lot of toes here, and I'm not saying that's bad or anything. I'm just saying you can't do everything for everyone. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't let someone else's neglects become your priority. Ooh. You shouldn't let someone else's needs become your what's the word? I guess priority is another word. You need to put you first. Again, I've shared this before, biblical principle. How can you try to remove the speck of dust from your neighbor's eye if you have this big block of wood in your face? Take care of yourself first before you can try to take care of other people. Learn to be liked by you. Learn to like yourself before you can even try to impress anyone else. Impress yourself before you can impress anyone else. But anyway, the fifth tip I have for you guys is set healthy boundaries. Because people are going to want a lot of your time, especially now that you're a higher value person. Now that you're starting to become, your inner game is strong. That's attractive. A lot of old, not old people, but like people from the old times, or people who love taking advantage of others, they are going to try to take your time, take your attention, take your value from you, because you are now working from you. And you can be a generous person and give, but don't give it all away, especially to those who don't cherish it as well. So basically, on setting healthy boundaries, first step, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot, but you need to weed out the negative. Yes, you have people in your life, people that you love, that for some reason, though, all they spew is negative, all they spew is complaint, all they spew is the worst of others. They're constantly putting down, not lifting up. They're constantly in the gloom. They're constantly focused on the news. Just kidding. They don't speak life. They just speak things that just are drag. You can love them, but you need to weed them out. You need to spend less time with them. You need to make them maybe an annual person. Like, I'll see you around when there's crowds of stuff. You don't try not to be I don't want to say this. Like, be intentional to not be intentional with them. Make a plan to not make plans with them. At least for a while. At least right now, where you're in the season of building yourself up, of pouring into you, of becoming a good guy, or whatever, a kind guy. There's got to be a better word for that. So that's the first. First, of course, weed out the negative. But here's the cool thing. There's an opposite. There's the opposite thing, and the easiest way to weed out the negative is by attract the good and positive. Yes, I said attract, because the more you bring into yourself, the more high value you become, the more high value people you tend to attract. The more positive minded, the more people that speak life, abundance. Those are the people that you need to draw in or bring in. Even not just people, but like life, shows, movies, entertainment, things that bring life to you. That's what you need. Things that draw good and positive. That's what you need to fill yourself up with, and weed out the dull, the sad, the things for now until you're able to build certain filters that you can go into these situations and they won't affect you anymore. And of course, the most important thing about setting healthy boundaries is you need to make time for you first. Remember when we were talking to Jono about one of his biggest advices that he gives to he would give anyone is pay yourself first. I believe in time that's also just as important. Give yourself time. Make time for you. Don't let other people's demands take over your alone time. There's times when I have to have my meditation times in the mornings or whatever, and I can't talk to people when they're trying to call me. I see them, I'm like, I love you guys, but I need to take care of me first. And they can respect that because they're true friends. But anyway, that's that one. I see 1, 2. I said I had 5 main tips for you guys. And I know the first tip, again, I'm going to repeat these. First tip, ask yourself tough questions. Second tip, create a new plan and make it tangible. Third tip, starting with the big 5, begin to add value. Fourth tip, set healthy boundaries. And now the 5th and final tip for you tonight, practice gratitude for now or for this moment. Right now, you have breath. Be thankful. Right now, you have electricity or power or way to watch this. Be thankful. Right now, you have the ability to see me through your eyes. Be thankful. Or right now, you have the ability to hear me. Be thankful. You have a smile. Be thankful. You have a dream. Be thankful. You live in a place of abundance. Be thankful. And by that, I mean you live in this country. Of course, I'm thankful for those people who are watching other countries. The fact that you have the ability to watch the internet, I want to say you're at least a few steps ahead of other countries. Be thankful. You speak and you understand my language. Be thankful. Y quizás también habla español. Hay que practicar gratitud por poder entender la idioma celestial. Be thankful. Be thankful for the ones you do have. Be thankful for the ones you don't have, but you had a chance to spend with them. Be thankful for the clothes that you get to wear. Be thankful for the option if you don't have to wear clothes because you have the option to not. Be thankful. Be thankful. Practice gratitude for the now. And then tomorrow when you work and you start adding value and you start creating a better version of yourself, wake up and be thankful for that now, for the new now, for the new norm in your life. And every day that attitude of gratitude is going to start to just give you such a side of such an attitude, a confidence. That's what it is. so that you can say goodbye to Mr. and Miss Nice Guy and say hello to Mr. and Miss Confidence Guy. Actually, no. You know what? Say goodbye to Mr. and Miss Nice Guy and say hello to the Rockstar, because you are a rock star. You are the rock star of your industry. You are the person that brings value. You are the one that people look up to because you have created such a magnetic, such a powerful, such a wonderful person. How could anyone not want to be around you? Because you've set healthy boundaries and you can apply them when necessary. Because you have asked the tough questions and you have figured out the answers. You have set the plan that you want to do and you're going and working towards that goal regardless of how sucky the area around you looks right now. You are not gonna be there for long. You have a plan. You have a future. You have a goal. Your inner game is strong so that you can give. You can give of your time. You can give attention. You can help people, but you also can say no. When you realize they're asking too much, no, I love you, but no. And guess what? You don't have to explain yourself. I learned that the day I could say no without having to explain myself, I was free. I didn't have to validate why I couldn't help someone else. No, I can't help you today. I'm not going to help you today. Try that. Try to get to the point where you can say no and not have to explain yourself. That comes because you have set healthy boundaries. You know what you're striving for. You know where you're going. And if this is going to deviate you from that, then it's not worth your time. You are now in a place of abundance. You have more than enough friends. You have more than enough time. You have more than enough resources. You're never going to run out, so you don't have to submit to just someone's whims and cries all the time that are just there to drain. No. You can love them, pray for them. Maybe you can't help them out, but you are not their doormat. You are not, because you killed you killed the nice guy. And now you are the rock star. You are the rock star of your industry. You're the rock star of your life. Man, this mic is awesome. Woo. Vamos a ver qué tenemos aquí. Take a little break here to see the commentary. Amen, Cesar. Abimelech. Man, we had some good times. And delicious. Saludos a ti y a tu familia. Yes, you can be Batman. Hey Juan, I want to thank you for coming back. I know that you first came to my show when your brother was on here, but I'm glad you still keep coming back. And we're all in this boat. As you can see, I've grown. We've all grown. We've all had to change because circumstance has thrown us lemons. Life has thrown us lemons, and we had to learn to. Well, I mean, some people make lemonade. I like to make a lemon pecan pie with the lemons they give me. Even better. Yo, everyone, this was a good show. This is a good. I'm going to add more to this talk on goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. Hello, Rockstar, or hello, Mr. Confidence, or Mrs. Confidence. Let me know what you thought about just the terms. There's more to it. I need to learn more about the psychology. I'm going to do more research on why people go for the niceness and use that as a crutch. But the one thing that I can always say, and this is going to be the preference to the book I was working on, you need to work on your inner game. You need to add value. You need to be the person you like. And then you won't let other people disrespect that person. And you're confident. But anyway, that's gonna be the show for right now. Oh my goodness, llegué a la hora, and I used short music today, but it was a good talk. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for checking us out. This is Hey Rockstar, and Hey Rockstar is affiliated with Low Budget Productions. If you have Facebook, go, and even Instagram, go check it out. Spell it as is. It's a place where you can find amazing podcasts, Hey Rockstar included. And if you are a podcaster looking for a community or someone to help you figure out what to do, and you just want to start your podcast, come join us. We didn't know when we started, and we've learned. I didn't know how to do a live stream show, and now I'm learning, and now I have some really cool equipment, guys. So I would love to help you and share with you what I use and what I do, so that you can tell your story. You can share your thing. I don't have any other announcements other than, next week. Next week we're gonna have a good show. Come hungry, or maybe not. Maybe you might want to eat before next week's show, because you might be a little hungry afterwards. It's gonna be a good show. I'm not gonna say too much more details, but it's gonna be fun show next week. But until next time, oh wait, we got a few more commentaries. Woo woo woo. Yes. So, oh man. So my producer said that next time I do my show, and I should do it live with you in person, and I should travel to where you're at so that we can do a taste test. Good sessions, amigo. Oh man. And so I'm going to tell you the other talk. So I'm going to just spill the beans on what I'm working on. My talks are, of course, I help midlife professionals change when the life plans stop working or fail them. That's my first talk. The second is say goodbye to Mr. Nice Guy, or goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. Hello, Rockstar. I'm just going to leave it at that, Rockstar, just because it's good. And then the last talk that I have set up for no. Goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. Hello, Rockstar is the third talk. The second talk is straight out of the Bible. You have not because you ask not. So just ask. It's a talk on how to help. We kind of break down why people are scared to ask for help, or scared to ask for assistance, or scared to ask. It's all about insecurity. It's all about fear of rejection, or just the fact that we don't know what we want, and that's what has kept a lot of people from asking. And you never know unless you take a chance to just ask someone. There's a book. I forgot the author. I need to look it up. Se los debo. I owe it to you guys. But it's called The Four Agreements. And one of them really hit me, where it says, don't make assumptions of others. Or be clear in what you say. Don't assume people understand you. Or just basically don't make assumptions. Your friends and family, or anyone that you want to talk to, they deserve the chance to say yes or no. Don't assume they're going to answer yes or no. So if you respect them enough, ask them. And that's powerful in and of itself. A lot of these nice guys are scared to ask the person they like out. A lot of these nice guys are scared to put themselves first, because they just assume that what they have, their ideas, are just not worth it. So in my talks, of course, basically I help midlife professionals change when life stops working, right? I help midlife professionals learn how to ask and get what they need. And then, of course, the last one is help these midlife professionals say goodbye to the nice guy and hello to the rock star within. That's going to be my show for today. Let's see what we got. Good sessions, amigo. Have a great evening. And I need some music. Now that I have a board, I need to get like a little soundboard where I can like put some music in there, go something fun like this. But other than that, listen to the podcast. The podcast version of this will be out Monday around noonish, más o menos. So until next time, this is Josafat Emiliano, and of course you guys saw Miguel back there hanging out, just chillaxing. I want to say thank you to everyone Um, there's a better way to do this. All the way from Nashville, Tennessee, thank you for letting us into your homes. Thank you for letting us into your cars. Thank you for letting us into your hearts. Until next time, much love and many blessings.